Hey guys, Drifter here. As you could have probably guessed from the crazy hair and the tank top that shows way too much skin, I'm back with another health update. Update number one is that I'm not dead. I know I haven't posted here on YouTube in a month, which is my longest streak in over a decade, but I am not dead. Unfortunately, though, I have been very sick lately. I've been really laid up for the last month, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. I've kind of lost track of time, and that has prevented me from making YouTube content. I will update you all on the nitty-gritty details of exactly who, what, when, where, what, who is me later in this video, but in the beginning I wanted to let everybody know that I didn't quit making content, says the guy who hasn't posted in a month. I just moved almost all of my content from long-form discussions to short-form, and I moved it over to Twitter and TikTok respectively. So if you want to check me out on Twitter and TikTok, you'll find links down there below in the description. For Twitter, I try to do 5 or 6 like techie gaming videos, and then 5 or 6 news videos per day with some food and reviews. TikTok is sort of the best of Twitter, 1 or 2 posts per day. Very active on those, and they work well for me. Short form is easier to do. It takes less time. I don't have to sit here. I don't have to prep. I don't have to edit as much. And it works well enough to kind of pay the bills to keep me afloat here. It's just the easier of all of my choices. On top of that, I also find short form content to be very fun. For those of you that have been watching on Twitter, I have a ton of fun doing food reviews. I have a ton of fun making dog videos and like really chaotic content where I ruin my wife's cooking. So that's been kind of fun. And I've been trying to find ways to move this over to YouTube. I don't want to just flood the channel with shorts. So what I'm generally considering is taking the news aspects of Twitter and editing them into a sort of mini show, Phil DeFranco style, so that I can get some content going here on the channel. So hopefully some of that will come, but for the time being, I'm not going to be able to post YouTube videos very consistently. Now it's time for the health update part of this. While I was doing physical therapy, I managed to hurt myself. I was sort of a victim of my own success. I had been doing physical therapy for the last 2 months, which would be 3 months ago now, and I was making really good progress. I got my right hand back. It's still mostly back. Lefty was doing good. My shoulders were getting stronger. My back was getting stronger. I was able to lift more weight and be more flexible. I was streaming and gaming. And I was doing so good in PT that the therapist decided to try a new exercise that was more challenging, but I've been crushing everything else, so this should be fine. Turns out it wasn't fine, and what I managed to do is rupture a disc in my lower back. So you may know that I have a spondylolisthesis in my back, which is somewhere on the screen around me right now. That's where your spine facet bones break, and 1 or 2 sections are a little loosey-goosey and they slide around. And unfortunately, that means there's a lot of extra pressure on this one little disc over here that has to hold up my entire upper body. And in doing the exercise, I completely just, I tore that disc. It ruptured everywhere. It's poking all the nerves in the lower back. It's not fun at all. Kind of laid me up for about 2 to 3 weeks, which is when I really stopped making content because it left me in nearly constant 8 out of 10 pain that Delta 8 and painkillers and stretching and ice did not very much to alleviate, and sitting makes it worse. Sitting here recording this now makes it worse, so I try to do things quickly if I can. That was unpleasant. That was miserable. You don't want to be where I'm at with 24/7, 8 out of 10 pain that affects your entire lower body. It's not fun at all. I'd say fortunately, maybe unfortunately, it's a problem I've had before. I've had this injury before. I know how it behaves. I know how to treat it. I know how to work on it. It's a really bad one this time. It's going to take a long time to heal, but I know how that process works. I'm already working it and already making a little bit of progress. Unfortunately, as this injury began to heal, I got hit by another wave of whatever has been shrekking me for the last year and a half. I had a lot of issues with temperature dysregulation. My house is somewhere between 75 and, if my wife isn't paying attention, 80, maybe 82 degrees for my comfort. And even in those times, sometimes, not with tank tops, I'll have normal clothes on and I'll still be under a blanket and still very cold, and it's very difficult to warm up. I've had issues with fatigue for my whole body. It just feels like I just feel awful almost every day, just completely drained. Nausea, been a little hard to keep food down, a little touch of vertigo. I've started coughing a bit more. I don't know why. Sunlight kind of burns me up. Maybe I'm turning into a vampire, who knows? And the big problem is that with all of this nonsense, I also got hit by pain in almost every joint. I assume it's joint and not nerve. It was just sort of all over. Both shoulders started hurting, both hands hurting. My knees were hurting, my back was hurting in new places. It was not a fun time. That has eased up a little bit recently. Righty is probably at 80% normal strength, shoulder a little less so. But I got it really bad on my left side for some reason. Shoulder hurts really bad. The back of the arm hurts really bad. This hurts. Forearm hurts, wrist hurts, and all the fingers and stuff. It just kind of feels almost constantly like needles or like I'm slamming my hand in a door over and over again. It gets worse with activity too. So not very fun, not something you want to have. So most days here I'm doing pretty rough. Any given time you could just guess that I'm probably in some form of physical therapy, trying to meditate and not focus on the pain, or maybe just loaded on Delta 8 and watching Adult Swim because that helps a little bit as long as the pain is reasonable. So it's not been fun. That's why I haven't been posting, but I wanted to let you know that I don't quit that easily. I don't give up. I've been through a lot in my life. I know a lot about pain and suffering and blah, blah, blah. And Mama might have raised a fool, but she did not raise a quitter. I do not want to quit YouTube. I do not want to quit content creation. I don't want to quit being active and going out in the world and doing the things that I want to do. So I'm continuing with physical therapy. I'm doing swimming. I have a whole new set of doctors, starting with a new primary doctor who, thank God, actually believes me, which is super rare. And over the next 2 or 3 months, I have appointments set up with a doctor of internal medicine. I just finished with the orthopedic clinic. I got a rheumatologist coming up. I'm going to do at least 1, if not 2, psych evals because, believe it or not, I have considered that I've completely lost my mind and gone crazy. If you have a whole bunch of pain without a clear clinical presentation, that's a pretty common thing for people to experience. And my doctor says that sometimes anxiety can cause pain because it'll cause your whole body to get inflamed and you might not even know it. So I'm not really like wanting to do that. I had a bad experience with SSRI meds in the past, but I will take them to see if they help. And I'm doing some self-paid tests just to get MRIs of random organs to see what's going on. I'm kind of leaving no stone unturned because my primary doctor and both of the orthopedic doctors that I talked to said that they want me to see an internist or rheumatologist to get tested for lupus, a variety of sclerosises, and a whole big section of non-genetic mixed connective tissue diseases, which if you go to Googling on that, you'll find they're pretty rare. They're not pleasant. Difficult to diagnose, often also difficult to treat. So of all of these potential options that could be wrong with me, I'm honestly hoping that the psychiatrist says I've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and I can just take some anti-anxiety medication and this will melt away. That'll be nice. That'll be the best solution. I don't know what else is coming. So that's what I'm going to be doing over the next month or two, which means that my level of pain and suffering is not likely to improve, or at least not likely to improve quickly. So YouTube posts are going to be slow indefinitely, as in maybe like months before I post again, or maybe posting once a month, because I don't want this YouTube channel to totally die. I still like making content. I still like gaming. I still game. I can't play FPS games, but I can play Teamfight Tactics, a little strategy game on mobile, and I have a little thing that I mount my phone in, and I can just boop, 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 like real gentle. I don't have to stress any of the hands or joints or whatever. Believe me, I'd rather be playing twitchy shooters, but I really enjoy gaming. And I really enjoy making content. I really enjoy recording things and editing and fun stuff. So I do want to be able to come back to this life, but for now I really need to be able to focus on my health. There'll be some posts, maybe some shorts, maybe I'll experiment with some of the short form content here and see how it goes. I know that I have to do something because in YouTube's brilliant grand algorithm design, if enough of you don't interact with this channel for a long enough period of time, then it kind of dies permanently, irreparably. And with about 1.4 million subs and 10 years of doing this and a pretty good revenue source, honestly, and fun, I don't want that to happen. I want to keep this going. I want to continue to be a creator and a YouTuber in some capacity. So I am going to be forked up for a bit. I'm going to be stepping out for a bit. I'm probably going to have a lot of complaints for a bit. And I'm also probably going to be crabby because if you feel the things I feel, you'll probably be crabby on any day that you feel them. But I haven't given up. I am going to get healthy, hopefully. I am going to get better, and I am going to be back to making content whenever it is feasible for me. But I'm not going to kill myself doing it. So that's kind of where we're at. That's why I haven't been posting. And yeah, I wish I could say I hope you enjoyed this update. Not a very pleasant one, unfortunately. Guess I'll see you guys around. Drifter out.